Hello, my name is Julia Egger, and today's presentation is titled, What is your BMI? First, take a look at the two following scenarios. Person A and person B have everything in common, except person A has an acceptable or good BMI, whereas person B has been deemed obese. So then out of the two, who do you think is healthier? Person A, right? Well, you'd be wrong. Researcher Jeffrey Hunger at UCSB found that BMI is a deeply flawed measure of health. So then why do we still use it? In order to answer that, I first need to define what BMI is. BMI stands for Body Mass Index. Professor Werner Hogar of BSU defined it as the following, which you see here. Basically, this big definition means that the index takes your height and your weight to estimate how much fat you need in order to function. Now, critical fat is that type of fat. If you look at the figure here and the chart, you'll get a better sense of what I'm talking about. This critical fat I just mentioned is just one type of fat that makes up our body. The other is storage fat. This is the fat that's in excess or that is bad, the type of fat we work to get rid of. So now I'll tell you how to calculate your BMI. Professor Lila Bouton of UNC uses these two major formulas you see here in order to calculate her BMI. You can also use Professor Hogarth's table as well. You just take your height and your weight and find where these values intersect. And that's how you get your number. Next, you need to learn how to analyze your score. You take that number you just found, find what range it falls under, and then look at that range's corresponding weight status. A good table to use is up at the top left by the Center for Disease Control, but you can use any table like this for your analysis. So now that we know what BMI is, how to calculate it, and how to analyze it, I'll tell you about the pitfalls of using the BMI system. Number one, BMI was not intended to be used as a measure of health. It was intended for health scientists to use as an estimation in their research on larger populations. Physician Robert Sherling of Harvard Medical School even stated, it's important to recognize that BMI itself is not measuring health. Secondarily, BMI does not tell you what type of fat it is weighing. It just takes your total weight in account. So you may see healthy people who have a high BMI, but that's because they have a lot of muscle. And third, the BMI doesn't show where the fat stored is on your body. And that's very important when concerning what type of obesity-caused illnesses you might be at risk for. Now, if you want more accurate measurements, you can use some of the ones that are on this list, like underwater weighing or air displacement. Now, finally answer, why do we still use BMI? In short, it's because it's a simple calculation or you use a simple chart. It's very cheap to use and it's available for everyone to use. Other more accurate ways of measuring require these complex machines and a lot of knowledge base and are not applicable for a clinical setting. So here's my reference list for all of the resources you found throughout this presentation. Now I'll open the floor to any questions you may have. Does anyone have a question?
I do. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So BMI is commonly used because it's cheap. It's nothing more than a calculation. What
Exactly.
should a person do if they think that the BMI measurement unfairly penalizes them?
Mhm. That happens a lot because if you're an individual who has a lot of muscle and not stored fat, again, your BMI will be off compared to your actual health. So what you're gonna do is consult your physician or maybe a nutritionist, and they can use other measurements like skin fold thickness, which I showed in a previous slide to really help you.
Is the skin fold thickness done with like those calipers?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. And that's a more accurate measurement. Any other questions?
What can you be under your,
You can
what
actually,
are the problems if you're under your BMI?
Sarah, what was that?
What if you're under your BMI? It's too low.
Yeah, you can be underweight on the BMI scale. During that, you need to also contact your physician and see, is that an accurate determination of your health? Because you might be extremely healthy, but that BMI doesn't represent your true actual health status. So that's why we shouldn't put all our weight into this system of measurement.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Unintended.
Alrighty, any other questions? Alrighty, no? Well, I'll thank you all for coming and I'll stop this presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thank you.